Getting on the Midpoint Bridge, my nightly commute. Still obsessing about the past. I can't shake it. I'm trying, I really am. I was talking about as I crossed the bridge with drunks, how I made it down to Florida 27 years ago and met the woman for the rest of my life, Beth, my wife. And how she somehow rescued me from my zombie-like existence. I was saying how some outside force, I don't know, God, Jesus Christ, my ancestors, I'm going to say God, keep my faith strong, compelled me to leave a woman who I was absolutely head over heels in love with, so much so that I was terrified she was going to leave me. So I sabotaged the relationship. I walked out of our apartment in Buffalo on August 86, moved back home for a couple months, made the decision to move to Florida on my own. Mary Jo and I tried to rekindle things, but she wanted me, I didn't want her. And when I wanted her, she didn't want me. She was confused. I was too. We both were. Like she said at the time, we entered the relationship in the middle. Gotta remember it all. Okay, climbing the bridge. And the fact that I'm obsessing on a year and a half of my life when I was a relative child, lacking every bit of wisdom and all the experiences of the past 27 years, and obsessing on it now as if it happened yesterday. I don't get it. Gotta be a midlife crisis, gotta be. Why though? I like where I'm at right now. I really do. Climbing the bridge. Give a little sprint downhill, get some momentum. continue the story that I'm needlessly obsessing on, and yes, I get the irony. Mary Jo and I tried to hang on to the shattered remnants of a relationship from August to October. It wasn't going to work. And something compelled me to move down to Florida. And I'll never forget the night in early October. I think it was October 10th, 8th, somewhere around there. I'm all packed up, ready to leave at midnight. And living at my parents' house, there's a knock at the door, and it's Mary Jo. She came to see me off. Drove in from Buffalo to Clarence. And it was so symbolic. Having my father, everyone else is asleep. My father should be asleep. But he stayed up to see me off as well. Here he is sitting on the sofa in the family room, watching TV, pretending to be ignorant of it all. Mary Jo and I, 20 feet away, up at the kitchen, staring at each other on the kitchen table. And I found out months later, sitting in Florida, talking to her on the phone, as we still tried to somehow keep it together. Got to get through this light. I'll carry it on later. Can't believe it's still green. There it goes. Forgot where I was. Mary Jo and I staring at each other, saying, oh yeah, she called. I talked to her on the phone a couple months later. And the worst part of leaving her bared fruit. She said to me, that night I left, if I had said come with me, she said, if you had said come with me, I would have left my car and everything and gone with you right then and there. Oh my God. Now she was 21, and that was a romantic, impulsive statement. But she kept it alive for a couple months. And I was a zombie. Somehow I pulled away and came to Florida. And we know it's destiny, because here I am, reflecting on it for some reason. Maybe it's future writing. I have no idea. It's something, though. God's got me obsessing on this for more than just your typical midlife crisis. But I've really only intensely loved two women in my life. One I'm married to now, and one I left only to discover the one I'm married to now. That's destiny. I know, but My God. Every time I try to forget about it, and I did last night, I got a great note from Mary Jo. And she said, no worries. It was a long time ago, long forgotten. You were forgiven. Shortly after that, she said. Wow. I'm so happy for her. I really am. That was like the best note I could have got. Problem is, I didn't forget it. Marley's chains. Old Marley. Okay, I'm looking at the clock at a store plaza, and it's 12:30. So I got 10 more minutes of riding here. But I forgot about it. Or it was on a back burner for so many years. And every now and then it haunted me in dreams. Whatever. Ever since writing that poem last week. Oh, I hate that poem. Ever since then, these memories are like HD TV in my mind. And yesterday, after getting that note from Mary Jo, I really did feel closure. And I felt like an idiot for even dwelling on it as much as I did. I mean, I've always felt that way. But now, looking at her point of view, and thinking, oh, this poor guy. Move on, my friend. So, I'm embarrassed, really. And so I went to bed thinking, you know what? These were two kids. We've got entire lives, adult lives, after all of this. How can you possibly just completely ignore that? Cheating on this light. There's a line of traffic I'm not waiting for. So, I went to bed shaking my head yesterday. It's over, it's done. Close the chapter, move on. And these vivid dreams came back. Oh my God. And I woke up with the same old software programmed in. Just a funk. So here I am, yet another night, pedaling my butt off. Literally trying to sweat these demons out of me. My YouTube therapist. I don't know. Just weird. I wrote her back thanking her for the note and letting her know that it's good to know she's the same sweet soul that she was as a young 21-year-old, now 48. She's got a teenage boy, it looks like. I didn't ask her yet, but it's kind of obvious. She's got pictures of him all over Facebook. Very proud mother. Cute kid. Adorable. He's at the age where you don't say adorable, but I'm at the age where I do. And she is a happy person. And you know it is. I'll admit to it. It is should have, would have, could have. And I know better than that. I've counseled people on how to shake that demon. How to put it to rest. Either with a slap in the face or a warm hug. Whatever it takes. I mean, it really is true, right? Shoulda, woulda, coulda, and 50 cents you could buy a cup of coffee. It's just that crossroads thing. It was so clear. October 86, I left. Didn't take her with me. And something kept me away. And I went back and I made a fool out of myself. Because she had moved on and I didn't. I went back 2 months after I moved. I saw that she had moved on, and anger and jealousy, which came out of nowhere. And I did something that hurt her bad. Oh, it was embarrassing. It still is. And instantly I regretted it. Tried to apologize, and she was so hurt. When I went to deliver an apology note to a friend of hers, she wasn't there. I said, please, Carl, give this to Mary Jo. And it was a true, sincere, utter apology for being the asshole of all assholes. I don't even think she had a chance to read it, but she was in the back awaiting me. And as I walked out of that restaurant on North Avenue in Buffalo, near Allentown, the Lenox Hotel, I'll never forget it. Someone smacked me on the back of the head on that cold winter day. I turned around, startled, angry. Didn't know who hit me. It was Mary Jo with tears in her eyes. And I walked up to her and she just did something very un-Mary Jo-like. Slapped the shit out of me. Just kept slapping me and sobbing. I don't know if she said, how could you, but it was apparent. I mean, it was just that utter look of devastation on her face from what I did. And I don't want to go into details. It was just childish and vindictive for no point. And I find out now I was forgiven shortly after that. Which I vowed would be the best news. And it is. Because she moved on. But it just shows you she's a bigger person than I was. And I'm trying to be that bigger person. And I got to work through this, and that's what I'm doing right now. I'm working through it with anybody who cares or nobody. And I'm going to do that narcissistic thing of